I write music and I write lyrics to the music, and sometimes I just write poetry with no music attached. Besides that medium of creativity, I like to cook, not all the time because I'm a little busy, but I do like to cook when I have the opportunity to. So I would say those are the ways that I'm creative: music, poetry, cooking.
Writing a program that's 5 lines instead of 20 lines is how I'm creative.
In the past, I used to, make drawings. I used to draw everything. I used to see, like, if I would see an actual car, I would sit down and I would see the car and I would draw it out, everything that, that's very interesting to me.
You write a program and it takes up way more space than it should. There are just sections that you can just tell like aren't really done correctly, and you start searching for better methods and better more simplified ways of doing things. If you can call those, if you can remember them and use them, your code is much more efficient and it uses much less processing power, and it helps the whole program work properly. And it's kind of a narrow focused way of being creative, but it definitely comes out. It definitely you can just see the difference between a well-written program and a sloppy written program.
But when presented with a project, I like to kind of step back and maybe, I don't know, kind of look at an alternative route that maybe isn't a conventional way, but perhaps a more efficient way or a better way to convey an idea.
A lot of the creative process for me is being prepared and being well organized. So with writing or cooking, you want to have all your tools available to you in an organized way in an organized space. So if you're cooking, you want to have all your pots and pans like washed and clean and hung up and ready to go, and all your ingredients available to you like in the cupboard or on the table, so that when you go to be creative and you're trying to you're combining different ingredients and you're figuring out different techniques and stuff like that. And then also, writing, you want to have like a clean desk for yourself, and you want to get up early in the morning and maybe have a cup of tea and feel comfortable and relaxed and be ready to go. So having a clean, organized space is, for me and I think other people, a good way to be creative. Every serious poet or serious author that I've talked to, and other authors that I've read quotes from, they love getting up early in the morning. The idea is that you're still dreaming even though you're awake, so you can tap into your subconscious mind easier. And it's really true. I've read, the times that I've gotten up early in the morning to write lyrics for a song have been astounding, and the results, the lyrics come out great. And it's cool because you'll start out maybe with dummy lyrics for a song or I'll start out with dummy lyrics for a song that I've written, and I'll record the song on a tape or on my computer, and I'll get up in the morning and I'll put it on and I'll start listening to it, and maybe I'll write down the lyrics I originally had while I was working on it. But then as I'm listening, I'll just be open to just new ideas, even if the new ideas seem totally different than the original concept or idea that I had. I'll be like, okay, I'll just write it down, I'll just go with it. And then I'll just keep writing different ideas as I keep listening to the song. And eventually I'll head off in a completely new direction for the song that I never anticipated or could have expected, but it's a really cool direction that makes sense eventually. And that's, I guess, part of the idea of not having limitations for yourself, because you might write a song and you'll be like, this song is about this idea or this story. But then if you just kind of let yourself run with the idea, you'll come to another idea or another story that may like work better in the song because it comes freely out of you rather than you sort of like forcing yourself to adhere to some idea. Other things that help me be creative is revising my work and showing it to other people. Collaboration really helps me come up with new ideas because you might be stuck, you can't figure out any ideas for a song or a writing project or any problem you're trying to solve, and then just talking to other people about it, you get fresh perspectives and new ideas, so it totally helps.
I don't like corruption. I've tried to go against the corruption. I'm trying to give positive thinking and thoughts to everybody else because I don't want to, I tend to benefit a friend of mine or help a friend of mine instead of, lowering their self-esteem or, going, corrupting their lives. So I thought of, making positive quotes. I thought of make, positive drawings so people actually stop and read what it says and be like, oh, that makes sense, that's good. Like one of my latest one that I'm creating, I made a tree and I drew clean, pure apples and I made rotten apples. So I wrote down, which apple do you want to be for Christ, basically. And it's not just the word just for Christ, but it's just the fact of you, which type of person do you want to be? Do you really want to be a pure, nice person, or you really want to be this rotten, corrupted person? Which is very thoughtful and can make you think, and it makes your day, basically.
When I went to college and wrote like academic papers, mostly literature analysis papers, because I was an English major, it connects to lyric writing a couple ways. One is being really familiar and really comfortable with like what you're writing about. So in music, when I'm writing lyrics to a song, I'll already have the song pretty much written, or at the very least, I will have played it so many times that I can understand the various different directions that the song could go in if I wanted them to. So I'll basically be really familiar with the music that I've written, and then I'll try to apply. And then in literature papers, if I'm writing a paper about a subject, in this case a book or a poem, I'll be really familiar with the book and the poem. I will have read it all the way through, like once. I will have at least, if not twice. I will have skimmed through the book again and made notes of where certain things that I might want to write about, where I can find them in the text. I will have thought a lot about sort of the idea or the thesis that I want to go with. So the whole pre-writing stage will be very long, and I will have read the book fully and made a lot of notes. So that's similar in the way that you want to be just really familiar with your subject and what you're writing about.
There's this one book report I had to do that was a little nerve-wracking. Even with all of the notes I had, still wasn't going to be able to come out very well in English paper form. It just never really would be able to get there, and I was really hurting for better ways to express this. And I kind of scrambling just asked my teacher, well, what about a web page? Could I write a web page for this? And he said, yeah, sure. So I went home and I opened up Dreamweaver and just made a web page, and it ended up being much more dynamic and involved than just a paper would be. I was able to really approach it from different angles and have those angles be visual as well as words, and it ended up being a lot more in depth than just a paper would have been.
I went through On the Road and I collected all of the locations where Kerouac and Neil Cassidy went throughout the book, and I condensed them into a Google Earth project. And what I did was I made it so you could use the sightseeing feature in Google Earth to traverse all the locations that they visited. And it's kind of a different way of using the application. It's kind of a different way of, it's a way to actually to immerse yourself in the world of on the road, which you wouldn't otherwise think of doing, I guess. So ultimately the process arrived at Google Earth because, first of all, I'm studying computer science, and I have more of an inclination to use, to want to use technology and to incorporate technology in my work.
Writing this book report in the form of a web page was really fun and really helped me get more involved in what I was doing. I was really engaged with it. It really clicked a lot better than it would have if just a paper.